Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome to the Thursday Throwdown. Give me a couple of seconds while I make sure this is showing up and I share this into my group. And if you guys don't know about my group, my brand new group, it's called Disruptors Nation, and I would love to welcome you into it. So if you are not in there already, just go up into the search bar after this and type in Disruptors Nation. And I'd love to welcome you into that group. So I want to just quickly, hi Dawn, I want to just quickly share this into the group and make sure that is taken care of. And then I'm going to get started. Yeah, I think we're good. Hey, so glad you decided to join today. So for people who are just hopping on or catching the replay later, if you are brand new to me, welcome. My name is Kelly Ruta. I am a psychotherapist turned coach, mentor, speaker for disruptive women in lots of industries. So politics, and if you're an author, a blogger, a speaker, a thought leader, a business owner, somebody in STEM, innovative corporate, basically disruptive women who are looking to upend the status quo because they know it does not serve the greater good. And the women I serve have the audacity to believe that their truth, their message, their voice, and their gifts will actually create that change. And they have the courage to get out there and do it. So those are the women I serve. If that's you, awesome. You are absolutely in the right place, because the truth is, when you go out into the world to do disruptive work, it's draining. Sometimes it really is. It can be hard work. It's very energy intensive. It requires you to have a real degree of self-mastery so that you're resilient and you're brave and you're clear and you're impactful with the work that you do. So welcome to this community. And again, like I said in the beginning, if you are not inside the Disruptors Nation, which is my new free Facebook group, I invite you to come over and join us and join really a group of like-minded women who are out doing incredible things in the world, and know that we can't do that alone. We don't do that impactful work in isolation. We do that mostly as part of a sisterhood. So I'd love to welcome you in. So on Thursdays, I do what's called the Thursday Throwdown. And basically it's a mini session. I try to keep it to 30 minutes or less, where I'm teaching you, offering you, and introducing you to something that's really going to help you blow up your ability to be an impactful disruptor out in the world. And today I am introducing a question to you that I introduce to all of my clients, and it usually stumps, or at least stops and creates a somewhat pregnant pause with just about everybody. And it's a really important question for you to create clarity around and answer and be really honest about. Because if you don't come up with the answer to this question and you proceed with your disruptive work in the world, you will burn out. And when you are in a state of burnout, or if you're in a state of shutdown because you're overwhelmed and you're mired in self-doubt and you're just not clear, then you're not doing anybody any good. You're not helping the people you wish to serve by being disruptive. You are not supporting and helping yourself because you're not being on purpose. So you're not going to be fulfilled. And you're certainly not creating any kind of expansion and growth and evolution for yourself, your family, the world at large. So this is a really simple, short question. But I find that most people don't take the time to get clear about the answer. And I want to invite you to get clear on that answer, even if today is just the first step for you. So before I get into and share what the question is, I want you to understand and anticipate a little resistance in answering this question. And the reason is this: we as women, really across the globe, have been indoctrinated with this belief that really our worth is wrapped up in what we do for others, and that we should do for others at great sacrifice to ourselves. And if I'm being honest, as a disruptor myself, that is the number one paradigm, belief, perception that I want to absolutely explode, dismantle, get rid of for women across the globe. Because the truth is, when our cup is full, we are of the greatest service to other people. And I really believe in divine flow, which is give and receive, give and receive, give and receive. But we as women have been taught give, then give more, then give even more, then scrape yourself up off the ground and find a way to give even more. And I do not believe in that. I think it's toxic and I think it's destructive. And so just know, I'm going to ask you this question in just a few seconds, and you're going to probably feel some resistance, some pushback, some, am I actually allowed to answer this question? So here it is, without further ado, here's the question. When you think about the work you do in the world and why you do it and who you do it for and all of the moving pieces around what you are doing, what are your deepest desires in return for the work you do? Now, if you're running a business that serves maybe an underserved population, or you're running a political campaign, or you're writing a book, or you're an activist and you run a blog that really is disruptive, I know the content of what you are doing is about service to other people. But here is the truth. We are human beings, and we each have unique desires for ourselves and our families, our loved ones, and then the community and the world at large. But we as women have to stop leaving ourselves out of the mix. It is natural to desire things as the result of the work you do in the world. And we've not been taught that that's okay. We've not even been taught that that's human and normal. Lots of women have been taught that if you ask for something in return, it's selfish and that it takes away from the work you do in the world. And this is absolutely incorrect, my friends. It's incorrect. As a matter of fact, what I believe on a deep level is that the desires that we are given in this kind of 3D human experience, really, it's just the universe, and you'll hear me use these words sort of interchangeably. Use your own words, whatever resonates for you. I often say the universe or the divine, but basically it's the universe's way of getting to experience itself. It's through our human experience. That's how the collective consciousness really gets to have an experience and have an awareness of itself. So your desires are given to you for a reason. And guess what? When you experience your desires, you then become expansive and you help the world at large to evolve. So your desires are not selfish. If you're a woman out in the world doing work to disrupt paradigms and perceptions and systems and habits and the status quo for the benefit of others, how in the hell can you be selfish to begin with? Yet this is what we are taught. The patriarchy teaches this. Lots of just cultural norms teach this. Some religious norms teach this. It's time for us to step away from that and to ask ourselves, what do I deeply desire as the result of this work? Now, you will have desires for being a part of this change, this disruption, this dismantling that you're looking to create. But I want you to take this question one step further and ask what you desire for yourself. Now, I am all about selfless acts. I am a firm believer in doing things all the time with the expectation of nothing in return. When I go through the Starbucks line and I pay for the person behind me, it's not because I'm going, okay, now 2 weeks from now, somebody is going to turn around and do the same thing for me, even though that happens all the time. That's not why I'm doing it. But I do have my own desires about the work I'm doing in the world. I desire to be a part of something bigger. I desire to leave a legacy. I desire to really have unbelievably powerful relationships with other people. I have a desire to right wrongs. This is very important to me. Injustice makes me insane. I have a desire to create all kinds of abundance for myself and my family. So, financial abundance, time abundance, freedom abundance, abundance of experiences. There are a lot of things that I deeply desire. Now, this is a different question than asking yourself, what do you want? What do you want just allows you to mentally hover on the surface. And there's nothing wrong with wants, by the way. Absolutely nothing wrong with wants. But what I teach people is to go deeper, and to get to the place where you crave and yearn and desire, and to honor those desires. Yes, you're allowed to have them. Yes, you're allowed to go after them. And no, it doesn't make you selfish. What happens if you don't honor them, though, is you show up and you do this very energy intensive work. Let's be real. Whether you are more of a quiet disruptor and you have quiet conversations in the back of, your church, or you have them in the back of in the corner of a party with somebody that you're talking to, or you have these conversations just inside your family, or you're big and bold and loud and visible. It makes no difference. Whether you're disrupting on the micro level or you're disrupting on the macro level does not make you any less of a disruptor, and both are energy intensive. They require you to be brave. They require you to speak your truth, even when you're scared. They require you to stand in line with your values and to express them out in the world, especially when you see things that challenge those values. This very energy intensive stuff, you guys. So to really believe that you're going to go out and do work that changes your family, your community, your state, your region, your country, the world at large, and not honor your desires, this is an illusion. And it's an illusion that serves to keep women stuck. This is the truth. But you know as well as I that there has never been a time, and you are going to hear me preach this till the cows come home. There has never been a time in modern history like right now where women have been called to rise and disrupt. This is a time like no other. And so we have to examine ourselves, and we have to think differently. We have to believe differently. We have to make decisions differently. And more importantly, we have to get into action differently than we ever have before. And if your foundation for doing all of those things is built on a house of cards, it's going to topple. And when we women leave ourselves out of the bigger picture, our foundation becomes shaky. So get clear. What is it you desire? Do you have a desire to be celebrity, to be a household name? And it's okay if that's what you want. Do you have a desire to create financial abundance? Do you have a desire to just know that your legacy is leaving the world a way better place than you found it when you came into it? Do you have a desire for a better lifestyle? And by better, it doesn't necessarily mean bigger. For you, a better lifestyle might be downsizing everything. It might be not being location dependent. It might be very minimalistic, but it's different than what you've got right now. Or you may be thinking big. You may have a desire for more power. And don't be repulsed by that word. Power, like all things, has a light side and a dark side. And you've seen people use their power, their status, their visibility in very powerfully positive ways. I'm sure you can think of lots of people off the top of your head. And you've seen people in positions of power lean into the dark side of power and do narcissistic, ego-driven, self-serving things. So don't be repulsed if you notice that some part of you desires to be in a position of power and influence. It's what you do with that power that makes the difference. But many of us have been taught, you don't want that. That's ugly. It doesn't have to be ugly. But you've got to honor if you have that desire inside of yourself and not deny it anymore. And something I want you to understand, and for those of you who are new to me, my background is in psychology and clinical social work and psychotherapy, and I did that for decades. What you need to understand about the human condition is we want what we want. In other words, when we desire to be, do, or have something, it's, whether you realize it or not, it's because of what we think we will feel as the result of being, doing, and having it. So the next level of this question is asking yourself, how do I want to feel all the time? One of the drivers for me is I want to believe and feel that I am on purpose, that I'm aligned, that I'm passionate, that I'm on fire about what I'm doing. I want to believe that I'm making a difference. This is what makes me get out of bed in the morning. And if you don't honor that about yourself, your work's going to burn you out. Or it will become so unclear that you'll be vulnerable to shutting down and just saying, I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. I'm going to go back to doing nothing, which for a person like me is a slow death or a quick death. So what I invite you to do today is to carve out 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and grab your journal or meditate or move your body or have a conversation with somebody, however you best process and create clarity. And really get still and ask yourself, what do I deeply desire? Who do I want to be in this world? What do I want to do in this world? What do I want to have as a result in this world? And very importantly, how do I desire to feel on a very regular basis? Because when you have clarity around this, your work becomes so much more powerful and you become firmly anchored so that when the work gets hard, because it is going to, there are people who don't want to support you. There are people who are going to want to tear you down. There are people who will be intimidated by the truth and power of your message, by the truth and power of who you are, especially when you're standing in it, unwavering, unapologetic. And there are people who are going to lash out at you because of their own fears, their own insecurities, and their own disagreements with where you stand. So you must, this is the core of self-mastery, is anchoring into your own self. And the clarity around what you deeply desire is just one of the pieces of building that anchor. And so I leave you with this additional question today, and it's one of my favorites, and I ask it all the time. What would be possible for you? What would be possible for you if you actually took the time today and for as many days as it takes to give yourself permission to be completely honest and to get really 100% crystal clear about your cravings, your yearnings, your deepest desires? What would be possible for you if you got clear on that and then you finally did whatever it took to create self-mastery so you got yourself into action towards those desires that were of service to others and of service to you every day moving forward? If you're honest, the real answer is anything could be possible. Anything. So I hope this message today finds you well. I hope it compels you. I hope it shakes you up a little. I hope it makes you uncomfortable, and not because I want to be mean or a bully or just mess with you. It's because I know when I put messages out to people that make them uncomfortable, that cause a stir in you, then it's an opportunity for you to tell a deeper truth and to create change that supports that truth. And the result of that is you go out and you disrupt the hell out of the world. So that's my invitation to you today. I send it with love and respect and the full confidence that you can go out and make a difference in your community, in your state, in your region, in your country, in your industry, in the world at large. And I'm sending you massive mojo to go get it done. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here today. Please leave your thoughts, leave your questions, leave your comments, leave your insights, your ahas, leave your, oh shit, now what do I do, in the comments below. I always come back around and answer. And again, I invite you to hop over to the Disruptors Nation, my free Facebook group where people like me and you hang out. It's a sisterhood, it's a collaboration, it is a community, and I would love to have you in it. All right, everybody, have an absolutely amazing day. Take care.